You mad dog. Hello and welcome to another Writerly Witterings with me, Michael Jex, the tea drinking author with a cup of Williamson's Earl Grey. Very nice it is too. I also have a very irritating Rhodesian Ridgeback down here who keeps nudging me and then biting her claws, which makes a horrible sound. But never mind, because it's Christmas. So, two things today. In the run-up to Christmas, because tomorrow, of course, is Christmas Eve, I'm going to be talking a little bit about some notebooks, because I've been given one. Yes, I know you're thinking, another one? But this one's rather special, so I'm going to talk about it for a bit. But first, I have to mention the Pen Pals Writing Club. This is something you may have heard of, you may not have done. It's the Writerly Witterings Pen Pals Club, WWPPC. Isn't that good? And I was given the idea for this about 14 months ago by Barnsley up in the north of England. And he said, you're going to be talking to people about pens. Most of them have pens and they'd like to use them. What about a Pen Pals Club? And I thought, what an interesting idea. That's actually not a bad idea. So I floated the idea and fairly quickly we built up to about 100 members. And it's an incredibly good, supportive group of people, and I can't express enough gratitude to the various people who have been involved and who have sent me different things to review and who are constantly supporting me. So thanks ever so much, all of you in Pen Pals Writing Club. I have to apologise right now. I have a backlog of about 20 letters I need to send out, but basically, I've been snowed under with work for the last few months and it's been impossible to get them done. I will get them done, hopefully most of them, between Christmas and the New Year. Yeah, I can dream. But I'm going to try to anyway. So hopefully those of you who haven't received a letter from me in the last 3 months, there's a reason and I will be writing to you shortly. So profuse apologies. But now, having done all that, let's have a look at a brilliant new notebook of a style which I've seen before, but never been able to justify buying. Thanks, Chris. This is good. It's up here. So here we are with some assorted goodies. I've been fabulously lucky with the generosity of different Pen Pal Club members and supporters on Patreon and you guys on YouTube for different things that have been sent through to me this year. And I am enormously grateful to all of you. But talking about notebooks, I love my William Hanna notebooks because they are just fabulous to use. The paper is gorgeous. They're wonderful. And they look good too. And I have my two Traveller's notebooks, Midori Traveller's notebooks, which are great. I've got nowhere to put these things. Stuck down there, that'll do. And earlier this year, I was given this by Endless in India, which is a set of notebooks which I am really very, very keen on indeed. Lovely paper. They're being used extensively, as you can see, and is getting its own patina. It's starting to feel very much like mine. But this is a brilliant package. And if it has any failing at all, it is this. It is slightly smaller than a standard cahier from most other organisations. These Lamy ones are very, very good. Just thrown a bit of paper on the floor again, but if I try to stick it inside here, you'll see that it is too tall and considerably too wide. Now that is a shame, and it's also one of the strengths of this, because this is actually small enough to fit in any of my trouser pockets. I always have a mat pocket on my trousers, and this fits. So this is actually very practical because of the fact that it doesn't take standard sizes, which means I've got to buy more endless refills. Well, that's something I can live with. But this was sent to me last week, and I just had to talk about this a little bit because I think it's quite wonderful. What is it? Well, it is a suede leather notebook which is formed of several different notebooks. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in there. Okay, so it's basically a similar sort of design to the Endless or the Midori, with strings at the back, these ones being elasticated strings, which hold a number of cahier style and sized notebooks inside there. Its closure is with a simple thread, which is quite an old-fashioned approach actually. I think it is medieval, but you just have a leather thong that you pull through and it stays there by friction. When you take the thong off, you are presented with a plain suede flap, and here, not necessarily the easiest thing to read, but it says "Traveller repose and dream among thy leaves." I think. Dream among my leaves, not thy. But it's nicely stamped, nicely produced, and very well presented. Open it up, and you have here a series of pen loops and a longer, deeper pocket, which goes right down to the bottom, and a fold-out section there so you can keep things. Now, it comes from a company called Gametee. They didn't send me this, so this isn't a sponsorship thing. It was sent by a friend, but there's a little bit of detail about the company, which I think is nice. And then you get a little note at the bottom. Now, at the back you have another fold-out section and a credit cards bit, which is nice if you want to hold credit cards or something like that in there. It comes, I think this is standard, having looked on their website, but it comes with lined paper which is cream background. Now, it feels to me as though that's over 100 GSM. I've actually got a call out to the company asking them exactly what sort of weight paper they've got. If you look on their site, replacement notebooks are 4 of these lined ones for £12.90 or so. There'll be delivery on top of that, of course. But when you buy one, you get 1 lined, 1 squared, 1 absolutely plain, and 1 craft paper, which I think is a nice selection. Apart from the squared, because I never use squared, but never mind that. Generally, I think that is a nice selection. Now, the interesting thing here is the height is perfect for a standard cahier, but a standard cahier is considerably longer in the page, so you can see here that it sticks out by about 1 centimetre. But I don't think that matters, because when you've got a flexible folder like this, it just means that it won't be folded over quite so far. So it doesn't actually matter in terms of that. You can use standard cahiers in it, which is good. That's nice. I love the feel of it. This suede is just glorious. In terms of the paper, I have been assured that it is extremely good, no matter what sort of pen and ink you use. So I'm just going to write a few little things here, because this is going to be my project file for my next book. So I'm thinking that it's going to have magic, it's going to be police procedural, possibly. I think it will have certain elements of police procedural anyway. It's also going to have
various aspects of smuggling. It's going to have 2 gangs involved, 1 loner. There's going to be a girlfriend. This is how my books start, seriously, just jotting ideas down. And then widow. So, absolutely no problems on that page, no feathering, no nastiness, and go over a little bit of spotting on occasion, but this is a Visconti pen. Let's keep it in perspective. This thing is a gusher. So I think that is a pretty good paper for standard fountain pen use. It's certainly adequate for my uses. So for me, this is going to be used very much as a planner for a book. Currently 1 book, quite possibly. I do love that suede. That really just does feel gorgeous. I can't stop stroking it. I'm sorry. Right, I'll stop. I'll pick up a cup of tea instead, and that'll keep my hands busy. Much better. So, excellent feel. Is there a downside to this type of notebook? Yes, there is. I've been looking at these notebooks for donkey's years. I've seen them all over the place. Different types, different manufacturers, quite a lot of them on Etsy and places like that. And I've never bought one because it was just an expense I could never justify while I was pretty hard up. This, I can imagine myself using an awful lot as well as this. This would be the one that I'd take out and about more. It's very handy for taking notes because there's just more acreage on each page with this, whereas if I look at the Traveller's Notebook, it can be a little bit restrictive if you're trying to write on that sort of size of paper, that sort of size of page. I love these because they go with me everywhere, but they do have limitations. This is slightly more practical because it is slightly larger, so I've got slightly more space to make notes and so on, but it has got the downside that it doesn't take standard cahiers, so I have to go to Nero's Notes, which are a very good firm, don't get me wrong, Nero's Notes are excellent and very helpful, or straight back to Endless, and they're by their notebooks, and they are very good. They're Tomo River paper generally. They're going to their own version of paper now, but they're fully aware of the fact that people like Tomo River, so they're going to be cautious. So what is the fading of this? Well, it is not really an issue that it will take a standard cahier, even though it's a bit bigger than their standard notebooks. What is slightly an issue is when you're out and about trying to write in something like this. You can see this sticks up. It should go flat, I think, with use, but when you're writing it could be slightly problematic. I have to say, by the way, that these are beautifully stitched down the spine. They're not standard stapled or anything like that. I like this. This makes a lot of sense. I like having the big pen holders. Personally, I would probably keep my pens in there rather than in the small pen loops, because I think it just is a bit easier. Don't know, that will probably vary with as I'm using it. But I think these are really quite brilliant. They're very much a medieval type of design. As I said, I like medieval designs. I really like this careful embossing. Picture there, and then the picture and the writing. That's all nicely done. I rather like the look of it. I certainly love the feel of it. It is a brilliant design and really well made. I've got no issues with the quality of this whatsoever. It seems to be superbly well built. What more can I say? Basically, this is ideal for me with a project. One of those notebooks can be for sketching, one can be for planning, characterization, plotting, and then the others I'll have to look and consider. But this is going to be definitely very well used. As is that. And that. And them. Basically, you can never have too many notebooks.
Too many notebooks indeed. What a silly concept. And now, it's Thursday before Christmas. So, I would like to take the opportunity of saying, hope you all have a very Merry Christmas. I hope it's a happy and profitable New Year. And next week I'm going to have a silly little video which is just going to be highlights of the year, what's been fun, what's been... No, I'm not going to go into what hasn't been fun. We all know what hasn't been fun. I'm going to go into what's been fun. And hopefully that'll be good and enjoyable. In the meantime, if you're interested in joining the Pen Pals Club, I've put an email address down underneath here so you can just click that and then I'll send you a link so you can get in. If you'd like to support the channel, there's Patreon link and all that sort of stuff down there. But apart from that, thanks a lot for watching. If you'd like to subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified of new videos, share it, like it, tell all your friends, all that sort of stuff, then I'd be grateful. But apart from that, Merry Christmas, have a lot of fun, and I hope the hangover isn't too bad. Merry Christmas.